name is Domenica Escatel, and I am the founder of a grassroots organization here in the Central Valley called Chicana Inc. And I'm very passionate on elevating the Latina voice, specifically focused on the first generation experience. So I host a lot of events where we are in a leadership format and a speaker series. And so I'm always inviting young professionals and students to come and get inspired by seeing someone that looks like them and has their background and can really walk away with the sense of, if she can do it, then I can do it too. This was a labor of love that took about 5 years to write because I kept feeling like something was missing, and as I would work on it, I would walk away. And then once I realized that it was missing the Domenica flair, and I added my photography, my a bit of journaling opportunity, a lot of quotes and images that just resonated with nuestra cultura, then I just took off and finished it. And really the inspiration was just having a history of working with young professionals and students all throughout my career. And whenever I connected with someone who was a first generation college graduate, or they're first in their family to have a professional career, where they were in the office space or corporate America, I found a common thread of just needing something in the bookshelf that they can go and feel like a best friend was talking to them. And that was something that I was trying to find and I couldn't find. So in my pathway of seeking mentorship, I wish I had this guidebook, to kind of just feel like someone heard me and saw me. And so I was like, I think I can write that. So I took my talents and gifts and thought, okay, this is what I'm good at. How can I put this in a guidebook? So it merged beautifully to a lovely book that talks about the first gen experience. And really, I pulled from a lot of women that I've met along the way and got inspired, and took a lot of my notes and a lot of the conferences I attended, being part of the Hope Leadership Institute, a lot of my journey there and meeting a lot of women and looking back at those notes and thinking, what would have I liked to been told, or that word of wisdom that I would have liked to learn. And I kind of put all that knowledge in this beautiful book, titled A First Gen Guide to Échale Ganas, but con Cultura. It's been a collection of female Latina powerhouses, and there's way too many to name. But what I will say is that it's when I first put myself in a position of being a part of a leadership program and started to give myself the opportunity to access women and even men that normally I wouldn't be in the same room with, that was super inspirational to me. I found myself in rooms that I could never imagine just by saying yes to the first opportunity. And then I was hooked, and I was like, if I can do this program, is there not opportunity to raise the bar higher? And can I try another program? And eventually it led me to sit in a room full of global leaders in Washington, D.C. I had women that were doing amazing work in their community from Colombia, Brazil, just so many wonderful countries. And I thought to myself, again, along the lines of what I'm trying to give this message of promoting, hey, if she can do it, I can do it. I started getting way more inspired. And, I wanted to even more so kind of put that message out there that, there's so many incredible, successful individuals that look like you, that have the same background with their abuelitas and their tias. And if they can do it, then you can too. So It's just a collection of people that I've met along the way. But if I had to mention one, I think we all know her. When I first got introduced to Dolores Huerta, I just was super inspired to know that she came from a background similar to my family and that she was out there using her voice to advocate for, you know, farm worker rights. That just was the first time that I realized that I could use my voice to help advocate and amplify issues that affected the people around me, my family, and my community. In the book, I touch on mindset, and really when I realized that if there was an area that I didn't succeed in, or if you would say, oh, I told myself, Domenica, that was a failure. I realized that it was all in my mindset and perspective, that I could use something where it didn't work out or it just didn't go well. And I could look at that and take that thing and put a different perspective. And how can I learn from it? It's never a failure. It's always a lesson, and there's always opportunity in it. It's just about finding that opportunity and taking it and trying again. So as long as you keep doing it, as long as you Échale Ganas, there's always opportunity to revisit the thing that you're trying to do and achieve it. So definitely, I would say core takeaway is your mindset and perspective that you put on the thing that you would consider, that just didn't work well for me. And being a Latina means stepping into your authenticity, which means wholeheartedly discovering your roots and knowing who you are. So for me, it was really a journey of understanding my family's background, understanding my mom's history, understanding my dad's history, and really stepping into knowing who they were, which meant I started to discover who I was and who really the true authentic Domenica was. And I took the opportunity of mentioning that journey in the book and really kind of sharing that as we are growing as adults and in our profession, that once you really embrace that, then you will show up powerfully. So that's what that being a Latina means to me. Something that I discovered for myself is that when you are having a hard time finding your way, to be able to allow yourself to create that path. And so for me, I was really having a hard time here in the Central Valley, finding a space and, so to speak, a sisterhood that I felt looked like me, that I could connect to. And that's when I decided that I had the power within and that I could create that here. And that's kind of where Chicana Inc. got birthed. And I started to do events to create that space. So definitely, if there is an opportunity to use your journey and be able to offer that to others, then definitely step into it. And what was amazing about this process is that I started getting students and young professionals early in their careers say, Domenica, thank you so much for helping us, be in front of community leaders and just have access to these incredible individuals that normally I wouldn't know where to look, because as I was starting out in my career, I didn't know that there was networking events. I didn't know where there was fundraisers. I didn't even know there was a chamber of commerce until a friend started inviting me into those spaces. And then I started to realize it was so hard for me to get into those spaces because I was really stepping out of my comfort zone. But when I started to embrace that and know that really the magic happens when you step out of your comfort zone, then I started to realize hey, if I was brave enough to be in those spaces where I knew no one, then I am brave enough to create the space for others and invite them in and just create this community that I wasn't seeing. So I would say definitely, if there's opportunity to share your story or open up some doors for others, definitely, be a trailblazer and do that.